Hi, well, thinking about this project, a specific sort of story came to mind. Last summer, when I was looking for work, I found a job as a dishwasher in a kitchen, and I'd worked as a dishwasher in kitchens before. And what struck me almost immediately about this one, though, is a restaurant, a big restaurant that was just getting prepared to open. And so they were kind of hectically training people, and there was probably about a dozen different chefs and line cooks, and they were 100% men. I've worked in lots of kitchens before, most of them with much smaller staffs, and that has not been the case for me. I've worked where is about 50-50, maybe 60-40, but or even in favor of men. But also, I had one job where it was three cooks, two of them were women and one was a man. It's sort of always been kind of a equal thing here in Portland, that there didn't seem to be any bias one way or the other, but that this, with 12 different cooks, all men, I knew that there had to be something pretty intentional about that. And once I met the head chef and got to know him, he definitely seemed like of the old kind of antiquated mindset that, when it comes to cooking as a profession, men are the ones who do that job. Cooking in the home, anybody can do it. Women, he never was so forthright as to say that women should cook at home, but it definitely seemed like if you were going to have a kitchen, the women should be the ones doing the serving, and the men should be the ones doing the cooking. The wait staff, the servers, were almost 100% female, and as I said, the cooks were absolutely 100% male, and it just kind of flabbergasted me. And I noticed that compared to other kitchens I'd worked in, the environment was much more hostile, much more competitive, much more sort of this puffed up chest, like machismo driven thing, where each of the cooks was kind of trying to intimidate all of the other cooks with their knowledge, with their abilities, to try and make them feel as though they're the top guy and everyone else should respect their authority, even though technically everyone's on the same level playing field. I mean, other than the head chef and the sous chef, everyone had the same job and probably got the same pay. There's nothing, but that there was this need to sort of stake out ground, and it was completely unlike anything that I'd ever experienced before. All the other jobs that I'd had, it was very much like a sense of camaraderie, that all of us are working in this kitchen together, and that we're trying to foster an environment of sort of like friendliness, of helping each other out, of being like not afraid to ask questions and admit when you don't know something. But this was absolutely the opposite. People seemed, even when they were clearly confused, to be reluctant to ask for help, to ask questions, to because it risked their masculinity somehow to admit that they might not know how to do their job, even though the restaurant is not open yet. Everyone is brand new. Everyone is trying to figure out this head chef system that he's kind of devised and is bringing to us, but no one wanted to admit that they were struggling. And needless to say, I didn't last very long in this environment. It was not at all for me, and now I'm in a similar situation in that I'm working in the kitchen, but there's a much more diverse kind of staff, and it's much more pleasant. So I just think it's interesting that even in this day and age, there's kind of a still ongoing, even in Portland, which I think of as like a very gender progressive city, there can still be these pockets of kind of antiquated notions. So I give my permission to have this video posted as part of the Gender Stories project.